Maybe an aircraft carrier.
Maybe.
Welcome into the banter with two bros that like to throw bogeys and Konner. Plus one.
I like to throw birdies.
Yeah, Konner can't be a bogey bro because he's too good.
Thanks.
Where'd you get that cool sweater, Hunter?
Oh, well, I got it early.
Guys, I didn't know we were wearing those.
You literally had one on your desk. And we walked over here wearing
That's
it.
embarrassing. Well, you're wearing something cool that's also for sale.
Yeah, well, Konner's is for sale right now when they're listening. Ours are going to be for sale this upcoming Friday. If you want to get a little Christmas sweater action, we have some Bogey Bro ones, a Dark Horse one, a Merry Discmas one, and a Janice one.
Perfect for your ugly sweater contest and parties that you have to go to.
Oh, you think this sweater's ugly? How dare you, sir?
My bad, man.
Literally, how dare you?
I mean, they're not ugly, but like you can wear them to that still. Well, if you get the one that says Merry Discmas, everybody will think that you're weird because you like disc golf, and then it's perfect.
I think I've only ever been to like.
Is that not a good way to sell
ugly
it?
Sweater party thing ever, and I just like ironically, my cousin had just committed to do gymnastics at West Virginia, and I I wore the West Virginia logo on my shirt to the ugly sweater thing.
I think I've been to like a few ugly sweaters, but like the first one I ever went to, I obviously didn't own one. We did them for like in our youth group. And so most of the time I would get my mom's old Christmas sweaters. Like my mom had like those vests. I don't know if y'all's moms had them. That were just like hideous.
Yeah.
But like back in the 90s, I guess they were cool.
They're coming back.
My mom did not have those, but I know what you're talking
So
about.
I would rock that at like ugly Christmas sweater day at school or in youth group. But the first like party I went to that was just like, I think it was on the disc golf team. No, it was a family party. And we decided to make their family Christmas party ugly Christmas sweater. I forgot. So day of, I just printed out a picture of my dad and safety pinned it to the front of a long sleeve tee. And I walked in, it was a hit. Everyone loved it.
That's fine. Did he beat you?
That's really disrespectful.
No, he did not.
Should have.
Yeah, no, it was very fun. We did it if it was my mom's side of the family. So that's like what made it fun. It was like I was hating on my dad. My mom's side of the family, everyone's like, "Oh, it's so funny, Hunter."
We gotta be careful because we're about to go down a Christmas train again.
Christmas!
And if we keep doing this, we're gonna have like 7 consecutive weeks of Christmas banter episodes. So
what do we got to be careful about?
So we gotta, you is what we gotta be careful about.
You're a mean one.
We need to bring back the bracket.
Mr. Grinch.
We need to bring back the bracket.
You really are.
This should probably be. We could do some Thanksgiving.
You're as
stuff,
cuddly as a cactus.
Everybody's ears.
We can do a Thanksgiving theme on like the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I think everything around it's just Christmas.
It's next
themed.
week, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, next Wednesday.
Happened fast. Just ready for the turkey trot, man. I know I am. I'm ready to get it.
I'm sad that I'm not running the Lynchburg one, but I'm excited to run a new one.
I'm ready to get a crisp run in this afternoon. Really feel it out.
I'm gonna run 4 this afternoon.
I think I might run.
I say that. I'm going to get home and tell my wife I need to go for a run, and we'll just see what happens.
I think I might try to strategize my run today. Or maybe I'll like just baseline myself and then try a strategy run later in the week. Try to figure out like I'm in a really tough spot this year because I don't know, but I'm pretty positive I was in better shape last year going into turkey trot just because this year it took me a while to get started with running after having Brooks, and then I had another hiatus, and then I got injured just when I was getting momentum again. So it's been tough for me to like get consistent to where last year I was pretty consistent leading up to it the whole time. So it's going to be very hard for me probably impossible for me to run as good as a time as I did last year, which is it's a real bummer. But I think if I strategize, I can get close. Like last year, I think I was like 25 minutes, 30 seconds, somewhere in that range. So I think I can still get like, as long as I'm sub 27, I'll be happy. But like, that's going to be a task this year for me to get sub 27. Mm-hmm. Like that's a pretty good mile pace for me for 3.15. Like that's gonna be tough. So I think if I can get sub 27, I will not hate myself. And anything worse than that, and it's gonna be a rough Thanksgiving for everybody surrounding me.
Yeah, I don't really have a time goal.
You better fly. You're in good shape. I'm expecting from you. Let me tell you what I'm expecting.
I just ran a 5K like a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
But that environment was brutal.
And I ran. Where's my time?
That environment was brutal.
Activities.
It was cross country. It was rainy. It was unfamiliar territory.
I ran a 28, 27.
We weren't even wearing the right shoes. It was slow.
I was wearing the right shoes. I was wearing these.
Yeah, but that wasn't like the best shoes you have to run in.
Sure.
I'm just saying at the beach, if it's gonna be a flatter course, like I'm expecting you to go around 25 minutes. I think you can do it.
I mean, I definitely can do it. I don't know if I will do it.
I think you can definitely do it.
I see my grade adjusted pace on the course we were at was 8:49.
It's not gonna cut it.
At where's my my grade adjusted pace?
You'd be coming in at 8 and some change.
Grade adjusted pace on this one was 8:40. On my the other one, I
race day adrenaline
5K.
is a different beast though.
Well, that's the issue. My race day adrenaline is the issue because my runs.
You gotta have it.
I'm like on my long runs, I'm very strategic, so I start the slowest I'm going to run at the beginning. And then I warm up into the run. So I have an easy effort the whole time. Same. And then I finish and I'm like, oh, wow. By the end, I'm running like 9-minute miles.
Yeah, that's the
finish out
that's
like
the
my 8
best
minute.
feeling on a run.
That's what I need to do at a 3. Like when I.
So hard.
That's what I have to do at because like what happened at the that 5K.
You sprinted.
Is you start and then everyone, like you're congested. And like the pace I started at for the first like 75 feet, I'm like, this is way too slow. I have to get in front of everyone. So then I
also
sprint.
are doing this too.
So then I like zigzag running way faster than I should to try to get to people that I'm like, this is the pace I want to be at. But then by that point, I expelled energy. And then it turns out I wasn't at the pace I needed to be at. I was at a faster pace. So like the first mile, I ran too fast. And then by the third mile, I just didn't have energy to run as fast as I wanted to.
We got to register for that Christmas run. You're going to be gone, aren't you?
When is it?
Are you going to be gone on the 12th?
I think I get back.
I feel like it was on the 12th. It was in Appomattox.
I can make sure I'm back.
Listen, we got to keep another race on
the 12th is a Monday, so it can't be.
Oof. Maybe it's the next weekend. It might be the next weekend.
Appomattox.
We got to keep a race ahead of us every time. It's going to be what motivates us.
My motivation is I'm running a half marathon in May.
You already registered?
I'm about to. I haven't yet.
So it's not on your schedule.
Because I'm trying to convince someone to do it with me.
In May?
Yeah. Half marathon.
I could do it in May for sure. I could do it in May.
All right. Well, so let's sign up together. Appomattox Christmas
Where is
run.
it?
The Greenbrier.
That's
2 hours away.
2 hours?
It's like on their golf course. It's fun.
That's so far. I could run one way closer. I'm sure of it.
No, I've searched. The ones close are all hilly.
Well, that's okay.
No, it's not. Like there's one in Roanoke in, I want to say like April, but the marathon is known as like the toughest road marathon in the country because it's on the Blue Ridge Parkway.
I definitely don't want to do that.
So then like the half marathon version, I'm like, I don't want to do that because that just sounds like torture.
That is fair.
The half marathon that's here is on the trails. The half marathon in Richmond just happened last weekend.
Trails can be okay though.
It's at Camp Hideaway.
Those trails are a little brutal.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like all the half marathon. There's one in Charlottesville. I don't know when that one is. But most of the half marathons around here, when I was looking, I was like, I don't want to run that one. Don't want to run that one. Don't want to run that one. And I was like, oh, the Greenbrier one. That sounds like fun. There's a 5K, a 10K, and a half marathon. Because if it was a full marathon, that would be fun to try to do.
I'm only doing a half marathon if I get a sticker that says 13.1.
No, you just be able to buy the sticker.
Well, no, but a lot of times they have like the location on them.
What was this?
I only do these races for the merch.
What was this Christmas run? Are you sure it was Appomattox?
I thought it was. Just go to Run Sign
Go to December races in Virginia. I'm running in the USA.
I just want T-shirts and medals.
I do want T-shirts. T-shirts is all I want.
That's all I care about. It's not about anything else.
Rocking a like T-shirt from a 5K.
Yeah, that's so sick.
That's why I really need to run a half marathon / marathon so you get the marathon T-shirt.
Yeah. Then people just know. Then like for the rest of my life, I'll just let people know when I wear the shirt. Like I did do that once.
There's a Peaks of Otter Christmas Classic 5K, December 3rd.
Is that going to be on the Parkway though?
Well, a 5K is not bad. Like who cares if a 5K is hilly?
Oof. I mean, hilly and the Parkway are two different things. The Parkway is like a mountain.
I'm trying to find this.
It was definitely late-ish in December. Like it was mid-December.
Well, I'm scrolling through them all.
You're on the 4th right now. Like scroll faster.
Well, I need to go to. Okay, let's go to page 3.
That was probably too far.
Ah!
Oh my gosh.
What is happening? Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
all right, December 10th.
Now you're probably. There's a lot of races.
Newport, Annandale.
Why did I feel like there wasn't
Afton,
this
Virginia
many?
Beach, Richmond, Portsmouth, Fredericksburg, past date. That was 2021.
There's a Portsmouth in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many English names in Virginia,
There's also a York.
which I understand why, because obviously we were an early settlement, an early state. But like I was just in Newcastle last weekend, another English, or I mean, I guess they're all technically probably English origins, but ones that are like named after main cities in England that I know. That's how I should phrase that.
I mean,
like-
this just isn't on here.
Yeah, like how Newcastle is named after Oldcastle in England.
No, it's also called Newcastle.
It's like how like New York is like named after Old York in England.
Old York.
Advanced.
What do you think they're doing next door right now?
Sounds like
I
they're
don't know.
dremeling through my ear canal.
Virginia.
Does it exist?
What are you guys doing right now?
5K.
We were trying to find this 5K. Are you gonna run it with us, Konner? Konner, when you ran that 5 miles, were you like at all inspired?
Yeah, he was. Because remember, he came back. He was like, "That wasn't even that bad. Like, I
Yeah.
could see how I'd want to run." And then we said
Well,
something
I
about
was just
5K.
like-
He's like, "5K? Psh." That's literally what he said.
It definitely made me feel like, oh, 5K, that's not a big deal at all.
It's not.
It's not.
If you're just trying to finish a 5K, not a big deal at all.
No.
Absolutely true.
I would run a 5K. I just don't know. I'm not here for the turkey trot. I would love to do the turkey trot with everybody, but
I'm doing mine at the Outer
Yeah,
Banks.
say it's-
I know,
by
but
Just do
everybody-
yours in Michigan.
Kenzie and
No,
Brooks
I'm
are
not gonna
doing
do
it
that.
with the stroller. Brooks is going
That's
to push
electric.
Kenzie in the stroller.
my family typically does it.
I
I
did-
will not be with my family.
I did them
though.
off and on throughout.
My family
childhood.
was not a running family.
My family was. It sucked.
My family will be, because I'm going to convince my son to run with me. And then once me and my son run, my wife will run. That's
You
what I tell
think?
myself now.
Yeah, I
She'll
was
never
going to
run.
say, I was like,
She used to do, one of her best friends was a family that ran.
Yeah.
So she would go like, she went running with them a little bit, but then started just riding. They had a golf cart, and she would just ride that behind
what's
them.
funny is like Kenzie doesn't run consistently. I think she like doesn't mind the idea of running, although sometimes she hates it. But then like she'll go out and run just like one off with like Brooks in a stroller and just like casually run like 3 miles. And I feel like she could run, be a good runner. Cause like I don't think that I'm built to be a good runner. I don't think either of us are built to be good runners.
Speak for your freaking self.
I think we're fighting against our physique because we're both built pretty dense. But I'm fighting against that. I'm trying to beat the odds and be a decent runner when I don't think I have the build for it. It is unfortunate.
Gabby ran
this
cross
it?
country for like 4 years. Probably longer.
So
than that.
she probably could start running tomorrow and be better than me in a week. Because that's the other thing is like I don't have running history. Because like kids that ran in high school, they'll just like decide to start running again later in life and be like, yeah, I'm at a 6 minute mile pace right now, which like isn't as fast as I used to be. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I would literally die I would just be dead if I tried to do that.
Is this it? Deck the Heels 5K?
Yeah, this is it.
It's Alta Vista.
Oh, Alta Vista.
It is December 11th.
Gosh, dang it, Hunter.
But it's night. It's a
You
night
were
run. So I
gone?
might be able to do it.
You're gone for everything important in my life. Like, what the heck? What do you mean you might be able to do? You're going to be gone.
I'm coming back the 11th.
Oh. That'd be hype. Could be hype. It's literally a deck the halls, like, it's going to be lit up. It's going to be lit. Konner, are you doing it?
I don't know.
Deck
when
the
it
halls?
is. I don't know when it is.
December 11th.
December 11th.
I don't know what I'm doing that day.
You're
It's
not.
a Sunday.
Nothing.
You're not doing
You're doing
anything.
this run. Is what you're doing.
It's Sunday.
Sunday
It's
night.
Sunday night? What time?
It doesn't
How
quite-
late is it? How far away is Alta Vista?
Not far. 20, 30 minutes.
That's not bad. When's the registration open? Is it open?
It's open.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, actually, the price already increased once. It's
oh
going to
my
increase again.
Gosh.
It's $30 right now.
That's not that bad.
Oh, $30 to go running? That's
You
cheap.
get a t-shirt.
You get a
Just
T-shirt
kidding.
that says "Deck the Heels."
just
It
funny.
says "Deck the Heels 5K Night Run."
Oh, that's hype right there. Not as
Are
cool
they
as
going to be
our
Christmas
sweaters.
lights?
Yeah, that's the whole point.
That's fun.
That's a great
Held
time.
the second Saturday of December each year. The Deck the Heel, which the Saturday or Sunday.
Hey, man, if I'm here, I'll do it.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. We got
Wait, why does it
we got
say-
a commitment?
This says 12.
Gabby would probably do it.
This is okay. What do you
Probably some
think's going
food.
on here? Virtual. Gosh, so it is the 10th.
Oh, so you're not going to be
So
here.
there's no shot I'm back.
Well, that's sick. Fricker. I'm just going to be doing it by myself, I guess.
I'm gonna just find a race in Charleston.
Just racing by myself all the time. Oh, you go with me, Konner?
I just said I'll do it.
Okay. I thought since Hunter was out, you were out. Like usually you guys are a package.
No, I'm more likely to do it now.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Have fun in Charleston, dude. Konner and I are gonna be absolutely decking the halls.
Yeah, dude.
Just absolutely decked. I like races. I think they're fun. I hate them while they're happening a lot of times. Well, I love like the first few minutes. You're like, this is so sick. Like I'm a runner. I'm a track star. And then like by the time you're like done, or like right before you're done, you like hate your life. And then you finish it and you're like, that was great. Let's do it again. So that's basically. I think running races is like having kids.
I'm a little bit nervous because from running the 5 miles. After 3 miles, I was like, "This is not like that's not bad at all."
If you here's the key,
But
if you
which makes me
stick
feel
to
like
a slow
I'm gonna
pace,
think it's not that bad, and then I'm gonna go and it's gonna suck.
But if you stick to a slow pace, like you were doing, like trying to stay like very slow, because that's the thing. Like if I went and ran a 5K right now, and I just ran at like a 10-minute or slower pace, like just really just like running it to finish it, I would get to the finish line and be like completely fine. However, I'm going to try and run it as fast as I can. So I'm going to feel like I just ran a marathon because I'm going to murder myself. Like that's how I was the last year. Like I got to the finish line. I had absolutely nothing in the tank because the Lynchburg turkey trot course is basically like the most feared turkey trot course in the entire country. And that's known by runners. When you get to that hill towards the end, they call that the Widowmaker.
No, it's called the Apple Basket Hill.
Let's call it something. Let's call it the Poison Apple Hill, at least.
And then that's actually
Snow
not
White's
even
Apple
that.
Hill.
The 5K hill doesn't have a name because it's
the
not long
witch's
enough.
apple. The witch's
In
apple.
The 10 miler.
In the grand scheme of things, it is
The
long
10
enough.
miler, it has a name because the point we turn around, you're like a fourth of the way down the hill of what the 10 miler finishes.
Dude,
The 10 miler,
miles
if you
so
go
sick.
all the way down that
We're
hill.
running the 10 mile for sure.
Yeah, next year, September. I was supposed to run it this year, but I got hurt.
Injured or hurt? You were injured.
Injured. I was injured for
Yeah,
sure.
let's get that correct.
But if you go like when you run the 5K, the turkey trot,
I know
just
exactly what
look
you're
down the
talking
hill.
about. Yeah.
You come out
It
of the
goes much
Blackwater
further.
Creek down by the hospital and run up that whole thing to finish.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so sick.
That's why like they say
The thing about
they tell you have to be in like half marathon shape to run.
what I will say, my motivation for like fast runs stops at the 5K. At least right now. I might change once I get in better shape, but like when I think about the 10 miler, half marathon, full marathon, all I think about is finishing. I don't think to myself like, "Ooh, I'd love to get this time."
I think like the half marathon in May, I want to run around 2 hours.
I have zero care. Like as long as I do not want to walk at any point. Like that for me, if I can do those races and run the whole thing, not have to take a break.
If my ending pace is like 9:10 and I walked for 0.1 miles, I'm completely fine with that.
That would be a really good pace.
Well, that's what 2 hours. I think I had to be 9 minutes.
That would be very good.
13.1 times 9 divided by 60.
For me, like, and I think that's probably just where I am in shape right now, to where like once I get past the 5K, like I'm not thinking about like, oh, I want to get this time. But I think that's just because I know a 5K is so like not that difficult.
Yeah, so you'd basically like 9-10 pace.
But yeah,
is the 2 hour half marathon.
As long as I could do like those races and feel like I kept running the whole time, didn't have to take a break, like that in my mind will feel like success for me because like I ran the race.
Because my whole logic behind that is right now I can run 8 miles at a 10-minute pace, and I have till May.
That's tough. Guys, if you can do it under 2 hours, a half marathon, that would be very impressive.
Close to 2 hours. Like if I'm past 2:20, it's not my goal. You know what I'm saying? So I could probably like a 10-minute pace is for 13.6 miles, 130 minutes. So that'd be fine. No, 130 would be 2 hours and 10 minutes.
So I just said.
I thought you said 2 hours and 30.
No.
Yeah, like that would be fine. I'd be okay with that. So 13.1 at a 10-minute pace, which currently the 10-minute pace is the pace that 12 minutes or 11 minutes was last year, where I feel like I can just go forever.
Yeah.
Like I just don't feel tired.
That's a good place to be.
Now, after I stopped running the 8 miles, my legs felt like they were going to fall off. But like during the run, it just didn't feel
the rhythm.
Yeah, I was just like in a flow state. I just felt fine.
Yeah, once you get warmed up, it's usually like
one of the keys,
I haven't run that far, but like for me, like because like if I'm running like 5 miles, it's mile like 3 and 4 that kind of suck. But I feel like you get to a point where you just kind of like go unconscious.
One of those keys was those energy gels. Because I read you take them.
Yeah. What distance do you start using those?
Distances doesn't matter. It's time. So apparently it's like every 45 minutes you take one. So I do.
Konner, let's have you do the 5K and just like come like with like a full setup of like the holstered water bottles and like energy gels like taped to your chest and stuff.
I will.
So because
I'll get a catheter put in.
For my long run, I take one before, like 15 minutes before, because it basically just has like.
Yeah, what distance did you start using that at? Not just this 8 mile.
It's not about distance. About time.
I took one before a 10K when I was running 6.2.
But like, I've never done more than like 5 miles. So like
for a 10K, I only have like 10 minutes or 15 minutes left when you would want to take the second one. So like, what's the point in that? Right. Realistically, there's no point in taking one before it. I just got them in and I wanted to, and then the next long run I did was the 8 mile. So the 8 mile, I took it before, and then when I was at my turning point, which I was at like 40 minutes, I took the second one.
Yeah. That is one thing.
And I was like, dang, like I felt like body-wise, I felt great.
That is one thing I'm not.
I also drank every mile.
I'm not a very researched runner for sure. And like, that's one thing that I know is huge is like race nutrition. As far as like what distance should you be doing energy gels? Like when is that going to help you versus hurt you? Water, like when is that? Cause like for me, I can run 5 miles and not need water as long as it's not hot out, like in a cooler weather.
But
like,
it hurts you.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's why I say I need to know.
You have to hydrate on mile like 1 and 2 so that when you get to mile 4 and 5, then your body hasn't like depleted.
That's something that I'm not researched on.
Because that's when I
nutrition.
Ran 10, I have 20 ounces between my 2 water bottles. I have 10 and 10. And so when I ran 10 miles, I basically just every mile drank 2 ounces, which was like one big sip. So I'd get to 1 mile, big sip. And I didn't feel like I needed water until mile like 8. Then I was like, I really want the water. So then I just drank a little more, mile 8, 9, 10. Well, 10, you're home. So then I just chug water.
Whenever I ran 5, the only water bottle I had was a really huge Deer Park one. So I carried it for like 0.1 miles and I just threw it in the trash can.
Fair enough.
Because I was like, this is too annoying to carry.
Yeah, for me, I always just try to make sure I'm hydrated before I run. Like I'll make sure I get down a good bit of water. So that way, like, because if I go into running and I'm already a little dehydrated, like, forget it. I'm toast.
Yeah.
Absolutely toast. I don't know. I love it. I love the sport, man. Go to the sport of running.
I feel like the tough part is I feel like I'll be able to get to half marathon easily. Like I feel like
yes,
the next 5 miles I have to. I could
do
probably
it right now.
I could probably go run one at 12-minute pace now.
Yes.
Like I don't think that's hard. Half marathon to marathon is going to be tough because I think that leap. Like right now, I stretch every day. I don't lift weights. I don't really watch what I eat that much. I think all of that has to change between half marathon and marathon.
I also think that half marathon to marathon is the biggest jump probably happens in your brain because I think marathon takes a lot of mental strength that like half marathon doesn't because like 2 hours of running is one thing, like that's a pretty long run, but 4 hours of running, that is a long time for you to convince yourself like my legs hurt right now, but I need to keep going. Like that's a long time.
My goal is like if I do a marathon a little over a year from now, then like if I train for that long, surely I can slowly build up enough that my legs won't hurt.
I don't think anybody finishes a marathon and their legs don't hurt. I don't think that's a thing. Like
definitely. They might not run like hundreds of like but there's like 100+ mile runs.
You might not be feeling like your legs are gonna fall off.
There's a guy on Strava that runs 500 miles a week.
He's lying.
No, he's on TikTok. You can watch him. The dude's insane.
How's he running 500 miles a week?
He's wild. I'll find his TikTok.
What? That can't be sustainable.
I've definitely liked one of his TikToks. I'll find him.
His TikToks are fake.
No, like if you look at the guy, you know he's legit.
Who has time to do that?
He's a firefighter. So I think he works nights and then just runs in the morning.
Yeah, does he run like all day?
No.
I mean, that's like you have to run how many 500 miles a week? What does that even out to? That's like double marathons every day. Like what?
Yeah, he runs a lot.
So that's 8 hours a day.
Dude, I don't know what to tell you.
You're lying.
I'm not. I'm going to find him.
There's no way. Like, what is that actually? 500 miles
Well, let me see if I can just go to Strava.
divided by
and
7.
go-
That's 71 miles a day.
yeah.
That would be a marathon takes like 4 hours.
Let me find how do you sort
There's
by
no way.
Well, a marathon takes 4. Yeah. Let me find how do you sort by like how far people are running?
I don't use Strava.
Club. Okay. Athletes.
There's no way this guy's averaging 71 miles a day. There's just no way. That's not true. It's a lie.
I mean, you can think that.
Like, you really think that somebody's out here running 71 miles a day? Do you realize?
Let me find this freaking thing,
What was
Trevor.
it
Let's
that-
calm down
I'm
first.
just saying, like, didn't Goggins do a 100-mile race every weekend for 8 weekends, and people thought that was crazy? This guy's basically spitting, and that's not even nothing compared to what this guy's allegedly doing.
It's not just him. There's a lot of people.
They're all sitting on their couch, just logging it.
No, you can watch this guy on TikTok.
I'm gonna start running 600 miles a week on Strava.
No, because like Strava uses GPS.
Well, that's not that difficult. I used to Pokemon Go use GPS too, and that didn't stop me from going to Australia and catching all the rare Pokemon. It's called a VPN. I was all over the globe.
How are you going to get your time and distance on it with the VPN?
You could walk around, like in Pokemon Go. You could literally
Sure. I'm talking
walk
Strava.
around. So I'm similar software. You just walk or run the trail, like using your
So
literally.
you run the trail for probably like 70 miles a day.
You could automate it. You're gonna tell me that you think it's unhackable?
Obviously, it's hackable, but
Okay,
I'm saying
that's
I
what-
watched this guy on TikTok.
Well, he's lying.
I don't think.
I need to see his actual statistics. I just cannot fathom that somebody's averaging 70 miles a day a week, like consistently.
I gotta find this.
It'd be
guy.
one thing if like he did that 1 week, sure, like that's believable. Like there's just no way.
Why can't I?
And now he doesn't exist.
No, he does. You're just putting me on the spot and making me
goes to a
answer
different
questions about something I
school.
don't know.
He goes to a different school. You're not gonna meet
How
him.
do you how do you sort it on Strava? There's a way to see people
I don't know.
because he like had a
Just
TikTok
go to
that was
the
like,
liars tab.
there's always someone who's like,
I think you can go on Nike Run Club. Like, let me find the top people on Nike Run Club and see like what they're doing. I think if you go to leaderboard, or I'm not. If I joined a challenge,
groups.
like
New club
the
feed.
if I joined like the November 100K challenge, for example, I can't believe I just joined that. I'm not even going to be close to that. And then if I go to the leaderboard, view leaderboard. Okay, so this guy in November, Masami Nakata, has 1,300 miles in November. Like that's probably capped. Right?
Divided by 4.
No, already in November, apparently.
So
16 days. So 1,300 divided by 16. You think he's running 81 miles a day? I don't think so.
but like if he ran 200 miles one day, you act like people don't do that.
Do people run 200 miles?
Yeah, there's like there's 250-mile races.
But like I'm saying, like the guy in second place has run 730, like a very
Okay,
realistic number. So
still-
I'm saying
that's
like
realistic?
So I'm saying like
What's 730 divided by 16?
Well, think
that'd be like
about,
40 miles a day. That which is like still crazy. Okay, but 80 is way crazier.
when you get to 40, I mean, anything past that's insane.
I know, but I'm just saying like that's what makes me think that like the guy at the top of the leaderboard, considering like everybody else is within a realm of possibility, and like he's like all. Like
I'm finding
there's
it.
there's people hacking on this.
Well, there's like that one guy in that one movie that
Look at that guy.
ran-
You think he's running 40 miles a day?
Yes.
there's like
That is exactly what I would picture the guy who runs 40 miles a day
Now
to
that
look
guy
like.
right there, that guy right there is running.
That guy's not running. That guy is the opposite. He's a bodybuilder.
There's like that one guy, that one movie that ran like all the way from like Alabama to California or something. It was like, I think his name was like Forrest or something.
I just need to know who
Forrest Gump, that
the
is.
bots are that are hacking the running.
I'm really
apps.
I don't know if I follow
can't-
him or he just is always on my For You page.
I just can't believe it. Like I don't
You're ticking me off right now.
like I
don't even know this guy.
elite
but
distance runners
I
are not out here like running that much.
I want to know his stats that I can like explain it to you, and maybe you're like, oh, maybe I said it wrong, and it's like, oh, that makes more sense. But like now, I just got to find this guy. I don't know how to find him. He just
does.
pops up
You
on my
dreamed
For You
about
page.
him.
I did not.
I mean, if it's average, he could be running like 100 miles like every other day.
I just like that.
But that would be average 50 miles.
That's
a day.
what I'm saying is like I just have heard and you hear stories about people that have done like crazy distance feats. Like the ones that I've heard are people doing like ultra marathons once every week or once every month, and that's like insane. Like that's insane. And like this guy is apparently doing that times like 4.
I'm gonna find him. Y'all just keep talking.
I don't know what to talk about. I'm in disbelief right now.
I'm in disbelief.
I'm in disbelief right now. I think the most like amount of miles I'll ever run in a week is like 60. I feel like that would be like an insane week if I was in like marathon shape.
Listen, everybody listening to this, if you're still listening, I'm impressed. But
Why? Because we're talking about running. That's way
It's
less.
because Connor's bored listening.
I'd say
to us
that's
talk
way
every day.
less niche than a lot of the things we talk about.
But yeah, no, I get it.
We did an entire episode on chairs once.
Yeah, but we were all goofing off and laughing.
He's saying we're boring.
Connor doesn't like running.
Connor doesn't like us.
That's not this. I don't remember saying anything where I was coming.
This guy
after you
found him.
guys. I was going to say, if you guys have any suggestions of topics you would like to hear us talk about, comment them below, and we would love to talk about them. I'm being shushed. So
October. It's a month. It's a month. It's a month.
Okay. Thank goodness.
Look, but he's 20th in the world.
Okay. But you said 500 in a week, and it's 650 in a month.
The guy, the leader.
Do you understand why I was in disbelief now?
Yeah, but I was trying to find him. So that's what I said. I said, I'm sure it's something where like I'm going to read it and we'll be like, oh, that
So
makes
he's
sense.
averaging like 20 miles a day.
There you go.
Which is still absolutely insane.
100+ mile run streak. So a week for 140 weeks, he's ran over 100 miles every week for 140 weeks.
That's insane. That is insane, but I can believe
See, look
that.
at this guy.
Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, everything makes sense to me now. But before, you had me convinced he was running 5 times that every week.
I'm just saying, look at him. 140th week in a row running 100 miles a week.
That's very impressive.
That's insane.
That is
100 miles isn't that much though, because like some people do that like every day.
I'm trying to think,
that's what the world was trying to have me think about, and by the world I mean Hunter, about 5 minutes ago.
I had to find the guy. I found him. I was wrong. What's the big deal? I don't understand like why like I did
Because I was fighting for my life like 5 minutes ago.
I wasn't saying I did it. I literally said I want to find this guy because like maybe I'll read his stat and be like, oh, that makes more sense.
You were
That's what just
gaslighting me.
happened.
You're gaslighting me twice now. You were gaslighting me. You were gaslighting me 5 minutes ago because you're making it seem like I was crazy for thinking somebody could do that, and now you're gaslighting me by making me think that you weren't saying that 5 minutes ago. I got double gaslit.
No, gaslighting.
If somebody lit a match right now, this whole room would explode. The amount of gas that's pumped into here.
What's 200? What's kilometer to mile ratio?
No, 5 to 3.15.
KM
math,
to
I guess.
MI. So
What is
1,500.
that noise? What are you doing?
Just playing the spring.
Oh, it's like you have a guitar in here.
So the leader on Strava is running 375 miles a week.
It's not true. He's hacking.
But like on Strava, they're all close to each other. It's like it's not nearly
I just
like
don't like the human body. The fact that the human body is even capable of that is ridiculous.
So what did I said he was running 500.
Yes.
So there's someone out there running 400 a week.
375. It's a big difference.
Okay.
Well, probably not in his realm, I
I was
guess.
gonna say when you're running that far every day, is it that big of a difference?
And that's allegedly. He doesn't have a TikTok account showing him doing it, so that could be a hacker.
Sure.
I believe that guy. I believe him.
See, now you know why I believed him. You can look at him, you're like, yeah, I'm sure you're running that far.
Well, okay.
What was his name? Blaze Run?
I believe you, Hunter.
You should make a running TikTok account.
Dang it.
I actually think that the statistic
I
was
thought about
wrong. I think
making-
you were right the first time.
I thought about making. No, I was wrong. I thought about making a running YouTube just so I had something to keep me accountable.
Like a road to like marathon account.
Like Cody Co made a training YouTube,
Yeah.
which Cody Co's obviously massive,
I didn't know he even had it.
and it's like fun to watch. But like the whole idea behind it is like
It's probably
like-
easier for him though, because he was immediately accountable for an audience the second he made the channel. Whereas like you,
I could get like 100 people.
probably yeah.
And like then I'd have 100 people who like are relying on me to like if I told I feel like if I told my social media following, I don't consider
I feel like I'd
Banter
be-
doing this. If I told them I'm definitely running this race, and then I started making content training for that race, I'm more likely to do my
My
goal.
problem though is I'd be more lazy about running if I knew I had to film stuff.
I wouldn't be an account that try hard and like put my
I would
phone
be-
down, run away, run back.
I would be sooner to do.
I would just be like all right, mile one.
Yeah, I'd be sooner to do like a TikTok
Like
account.
this guy. This guy's electric.
And just
Let me
be
find
like,
him.
I would just be like, yeah, I just finished this run. Like these are my goals. Blah blah blah. Like TikTok real quick format. But I would never. Maybe we should all create niche TikToks and see whose can grow the fastest.
That should be a Foundation Nation account.
That'd be
thing.
That would be really funny. What would you do, Konner? Niche TikTok. If your sole purpose was like getting it's something that you can just like do right now. You don't have to like do all kinds of crazy extra stuff, and you would like grow it really quick.
But would our goal be to grow it really quick or like
Yeah.
have fun with it?
No, like who can grow
This
it.
guy.
Oh, okay.
This would be mine.
Well, that depends on how niche is.
Oh wait, is this
Where
the
he's
video?
like-
No, this is the
This is
video.
where he's like, this is me at mile whatever.
New York City Marathon. This is the start, baby. Mile 1, 8:03.
Yeah.
Mile 2, 7:20. Mile 3 with 1, 7:24. I'm with Max here. Mile 4, 7 minutes, baby. 3 minutes in.
The fact that he can talk at mile 4, I'd be like,
He doesn't sound any different either.
10:30. Mile 23. We got this, man. We got this. We got like a 9:30 split here. Mile 24.
And then someone was like, dude, why'd you run it so slow? And then he showed like, he's like, while he was running, he was like going and hyping the club up. Or not the club, the crowd up.
Let's go!
that's insane.
But I mean, you can,
I
if
can't
you
even
saw him,
talk.
you'd be like, well, yeah, no wonder he
If
can run
somebody,
that fast.
one of my things is like, I don't ever run with other people because like I cannot talk to them. I'm not going to be talking while I run.
I ran with my brother for 2 miles. I ran at a decent pace and we talked the whole time. Way more fun than running by yourself.
I hate it.
Way more fun.
I hate it.
Because
But
you're just like jogging and you're talking. You're not
when
thinking
I-
about your running.
No, when I run, I need music in my ears and I need to get into the zone.
What are you going to do if you go to a race
zone
and you
of-
can't have
A
headphones?
zone of self-hatred. Now that's something I think about for sure. Like Ironman's, you're not wearing headphones all
Yeah.
this. So like that's definitely like that would be a big
That's
part
crazy.
of
On,
yeah, that'd be a big part of the battle for me, especially on the running segment because I think like the biking and the swimming is one thing, but on that run like not having music that would be a huge mental obstacle for me is because like the music allows me to distract my brain,
Yeah.
and if I don't have that, all you're thinking about is the next.
I
step
run
ahead
with
of you.
music, but on Joe Rogan, I saw this clip of David Goggins on Joe Rogan saying how running or working out with headphones is cheating
It is
because it doesn't let your mind go to the dark place.
it's true.
So you don't actually have to battle your mind. You just let yourself get distracted.
It's absolutely true. I
I ran my headphones on one run a while ago. I think I was running 4 miles.
That guy hates himself.
No, he's incredible. I was like half a mile in, my headphones died. And I ran the 4 miles and it was the worst experience of my life.
Yeah,
Because like 3 miles in, I was like, you like hear yourself breathing and like you start becoming aware of all this other stuff. And then like it's just you and your thoughts.
I think like a 5K for me with no headphones, no big deal. Like whatever.
Yeah, I could do that.
But you get much further than that, especially if it's a race setting. I think I could do like up to like a 10K and not really care that much. But if it's just me running to like train and I have no headphones in, I'm turning around in a lot of scenarios. I'm running back to get my headphones. Like I just don't want to do it. Or maybe at the very least, I'll just like play a podcast out of my speaker.
Part of me wants to like try. I think one of my long
Some
runs.
people are just no
I
headphones
I
runners. Like, some people are
I
just
think
like
I'm
that.
gonna run, and once I get to 10 miles, or I'm running 10 miles like 2 or 3 weeks in a row. I think I'm gonna just send a 10-mile run with no headphones to see what happens.
I would totally.
It is probably good for you.
If I was in like an interesting
good
city,
thinking.
if I was like Casey Neistat running through New York, and like I get to hear like all the
Gunshots.
noises of the city, yeah. Well, just like interesting things are happening in where I'm running, then like that's one thing. But like if I'm just like running laps around a building like where I usually run, like what the heck? That sucks.
You can come run near my house. You might get murdered. That'd be fun.
All right.
I like where I run, but if I go much longer, 10 miles is like I have to snake through a few neighborhoods extra to get to 10. So when I get past that, I think what I'm gonna have to do is cross the road up by this Walmart
Or you just make
and
loops.
go into. No, I don't want to run the same place twice. Like
But
I
like-
run out and back. That's it. I don't want to like run circles. I get way too bored. I think I can cross here and then get into this Thomas Jefferson neighborhood.
Yeah, I run circles.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Well, I run circles when if I'm doing a long run, anything past like a 5K, I'm going to the trail and I'm running on there. But
I ran the trail one morning. It was fun. It's just way easier just to walk
I
out my
did
front door
run
and
5 miles around a track once
Yeah, I
last
can't do
year,
that.
and that was something. That's what sucked.
When Goggins ran the 100 miles, it was a track race.
Dang.
Ugh.
It was 400 laps.
Oh my god.
That is, you are
Because the whole point of that race was how far can you run in 24 hours.
the mental.
And so his
fortitude.
goal to get into this race was if he could run 100 miles in 24 hours, he could qualify for this race.
The mental fortitude.
How
and it was
long
on
did
a
it
track.
take him?
I forget how far he either ran over. I think he ran over 100 miles in the 24 hours. I think that's what it was. I don't think he got to 100.
But he
gave
ran
up.
straight for 24 hours?
Well, he like sat down, peed blood, crapped himself. His legs were all like basically broken, and then he got up and ran like and had to basically run a 10-minute pace for the last like 15 miles, and then did it.
That is pretty crazy.
He's insane.
Some people just have different mental strength than others. Like
Not yet, man. You'll get there.
I just don't have it.
Well, I think it's more like for you, you'd be like, well, why?
I had two.
Like, why would I do that?
I had way too easy.
Why
of a life.
wouldn't you do that?
I
Like that
love
dude
it.
could face anything and like not phase him.
I think it's awesome. Like I think it's so cool. I think
that's how we're supposed to be.
I love
is that
his-
mentally tough.
I love his mental toughness that like he can face that adversity, and basically his whole thing is like, I'm not going to let my body overcome my mind. Like the pain cannot hurt me. Like
he knows
and,
you're
like,
capable of way more than your body
and
says
that's
you
all,
are.
like that's the whole. Navy.
I think that goal is like really good in the way and stuff. I just don't. I think that his really aggressive nature of how he got there is not super healthy.
Probably not the
Like
healthiest.
staring in the mirror and saying you're effing fat.
Yeah,
but like you got to break yourself.
there are probably
yeah, I
different
just
ways.
think there's better ways to do that. I don't know about breaking yourself. You could like I don't.
If you
think,
don't- I think if you don't-
think long story short, I think the way he does it is a very human, relying on a human way of doing something. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't
about
think
that.
if you don't break yourself though, you're not gonna be able to do it.
I will agree that
Like to mentally be able to accomplish a like 100-mile run,
yeah,
you have to mentally break yourself.
whenever we did,
There's no way around it.
Whenever we did a Navy SEAL training thing for our baseball team, the one time, like it was the only time I've ever experienced anything like this, where we had a former Navy SEAL come and instruct us and do this. He like had a program, and for like a few hours basically tortured us. And that was the only time, like when we're holding these logs above our head and like we literally do not have a choice whether like but to carry them. Like that was the only time in my life I've ever like understood the idea that like our bodies are capable of way more than our mind allows. And so I definitely understand the idea that like you have to train your like you have to train your mind to just ignore immense amount of pain in order to get to a certain level. I also understand that for my life, like I don't need to ignore nearly as much pain because I'm not trying to hurt myself. I'm not trying to get injured in order to complete a race. My goal is not to run a marathon and get to the finish line and have broken ankles. Like that's a cool story, but like
Sick story.
Yeah.
Like you ran the last 5 miles on a broken toe.
But my goal now, it would be one
that
thing.
thing will heal.
It'd be one thing if
the story will live forever.
It would be one thing if I, by happenstance, hurt myself and finish the race. That would be cool. I'm not
Well, you're
trying.
not gonna like.
I'm not trying to like run myself.
No one intentionally
bloody.
hurts himself.
Well, I'm like David Goggins was running. Like some of his running stories involved him not prepared for something, and that's why he had to. run through
like
it.
he was like 285 pounds running 100 miles.
Exactly. So like that is not a situation I'm trying to put myself in. Obviously, I want to be prepared, but just the mental strength for me to like finish long races is certainly
He
like
was 285 pounds when he did that.
Yeah, because he was a power lifter.
Oh, okay.
And he was trying to figure out-
but he was like in shape though.
He wasn't in running
Not in
shape,
running
but
shape.
he
But
was
he
in
was
shape.
in shape. He
Yes.
was okay.
Yeah.
He was like a
physically
fat guy.
fit, but he didn't have cardio.
and having that much weight on a long run.
Yeah.
Oh
but
my
I was
gosh.
thinking, whenever you said it, I was just thinking
he wasn't like a couch
He was,
potato.
yeah. Okay.
No. Yeah, he's something else.
Yeah, I don't. That's the one thing like about like the Ironmans. Like when I watched the Ironman and I saw like how cool it looked to be a part of that and to finish that, I thought like I might be able to. The problem with that is like I think I could get my body to a place where it's achievable because like my father-in-law trained for over like 2 years before he did it, and like I know I could probably get my body to a place where it's achievable, but the problem is that point still requires me to buckle down mentally for so many hours and just fight through pain. And like, that's a level that would be way harder for me to achieve mentally than it would be physically. Like,
Yeah.
Like
full Ironman, I don't think I'll ever. I don't have a desire to do a full Ironman.
It's just crazy.
I think a half Ironman is like as far as I could ever see myself pushing myself, because I think I could dedicate the time to get there.
Because like, I mean, it's literally
a
a whole day.
Yeah, full Ironman, there's no shot.
It's a whole day of you are just under strain. Gosh, it's insane.
'Cause that's the other thing is like before running a marathon, you can build your long runs up to where like you can run a marathon before you run a marathon.
Yeah.
You're not going to just on a Saturday up and go do an Ironman.
Yeah, you don't
do an Ironman.
You don't do a full marathon. You don't even like when you're training for the Ironman. Like you very seldom do any kind. You never combination do them all together.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And you very seldom even do the longest run and the longest bike and the longest swim. Like you're just kind of like getting yourself ready, and then you just battle it out. I mean, I'm sure the top athletes maybe do.
Well, I think that's the tough thing of like. That's the same from what I've understood. Most people who run marathons, it's the same way. Like they're not going out every Saturday and cranking out 26-mile runs.
No.
But like that's why to me, I'm like, I'm definitely before I run a marathon, I'm running a marathon like in the streets because I want to make sure I can do it when I have the option to not do it versus I put myself on the line and I'm not I'm not ready to be on that line.
I don't know if I need to get to 26, but I think I would need to get to at least
like 25.
Well, no, I would say like I would say like 2021 because if you can run 21 miles, you can run 26 miles. I firmly believe that.
But the tough part is like I want to be able to stand on the line and be like I've done it before. Like the 5K, I've never walked up to a 5K line and been like I don't know if I can do it.
I just feel like it, and this is like
because on the race day I'm going to push myself and force myself to do it.
Yeah,
I want to know my body's ready.
I just feel like I feel like on race day when
myself.
I cross the finish line, I want it to be the first time I ran a marathon.
I'll just go like 24 miles.
I was gonna say I don't want to like run one around my neighborhood and be like, well, that was my first marathon.
But like when you finish the turkey trot, it still felt cooler than when you ran 3.1 miles in your neighborhood.
It does, but that's what I'm saying. Like I just know like I could, if I get to the point where I'm running 21, 22 miles, I can definitely run 26. Like there's literally no way.
Yeah, but you won't I won't know the pace to be at or anything.
Yeah, but that's again me saying that like when I run a marathon, if I run a marathon, I would like to win. It's going to be about finishing it, not about my pace at all.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to care one lick about my pace. It'll just be a cool thing to look at the end.
The only time I've experienced being like mentally broke from a physical activity was we had our coach called it Hell Week, but it was basically just basketball conditioning. The first week and a half, 2 weeks of practice, we just didn't touch a basketball.
Just run. And
it was running and defensive drills, and that was it. But the end of practice every day, we did what was called a killer. And it was a suicide, but at every line, you had to do 5 push-ups and 5 sit-ups.
That sucks.
And what would happen is he timed the entire team. And if the entire team, I don't remember what the times were, but if the entire team didn't make it in the time, then everyone had to get back on the line, and he took 5 seconds off the clock. And then that was the time he had to beat.
That's the worst.
And so there were practices where we had to do it 4 or 5 times in a row. So by the end, when everyone did complete it, it was 25 seconds faster than the first time we did it. And it was like every time we would do it, it became to where like the last one, the fastest person and the slowest person were finishing like at the same time. But like the whole point was the coach was like proving like you got more in you. You're just not giving it.
You always forget like how much running basketball has until you try and play basketball game and you're out of shape. But one of the worst like running exercise that we did was so simple but very effective, where we would run cross court and you would start with one length. Then you go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and you have a time for each one.
Yep.
And it was another situation where last person back was when the time counted, and you would keep going up to like 30, I want to say, to where you'd literally run 30, 1, 2, 3, and you had to repeat one if you missed the time.
Yep.
Oh my gosh,
we did that too.
We
would do that in the same practice we did the killers. That was Hell Week. It was just
so much running.
Like he just broke you in.
The good news was about that, like that team I remember, that was in middle school, I think, was if you were one of the better in shape kids on the team, like the coaches were obviously going to make the time to where the worst runners on the team were going to be the ones struggling. So like it would suck because you'd have to repeat the run, and it was hard for everybody, but really the kids who were the worst runners, who needed the most help, were the ones that were going to struggle.
Most of us paced ourselves to run just slightly faster than the slowest guy.
Exactly.
Because like then it made life a lot easier on you.
Being the slowest guy on the team in basketball, not a fun time for running drills at all.
No, because you felt, and rightfully so, like the whole team was like mad at you.
It's basically like in,
And a lot of times you were.
hockey, we did suicides, and the goalies are like in full pads. So they were given a little more forgiveness, but it's still like you could tell it sucked because they weren't used to skating as much either, like for long amounts of time. And oh man, that was the worst.
Sports, man.
Sports. Konner, how many suicides have you run? Have you ever run a single suicide? Do you know what we mean when we say that? Are you allowed to say that anymore?
That's what their running drill's called. I don't know.
It's probably pretty insensitive.
Probably, but that's just what it was called.
Where you run to like to the line back, to the next line back, to the next line back.
Oh yeah.
And full court back.
I'm sure in gym class, like it's
Yeah,
probably
in gym class.
a pretty common thing. Yeah. The worst is in basketball when they would throw in like the elbow notches too. So they'd add like extra
We had volleyball lines.
Yeah.
So we would go
Yeah.
we would go the white volleyball line, the free throw line, the next white line, 3-point, or the
Yeah.
half court, next white, free throw. Next
Those literally
volleyball,
only suck
there,
because
back.
you had to bend down and touch the line. Like that's like the fact
Yeah.
you had to stop, like the actual amount of running wasn't that bad, and you had to sprint them. I guess that also sucked.
No, it was just a sprint. That was brutal. We also would always do a drill where you lined up, and it started with just a down and back, but by the end of the season, you had to do there's nothing else to call it. You had to do a suicide so you'd line up on the baseline, and we'd go down the whole team, and you would shoot. If the person missed a free throw, down back.
Oh yeah.
And so you'd go the whole team down. So if everyone was shooting free throws good, you didn't have to run much.
That's pretty much how we ended every practice.
That's how we ended every single practice.
Yeah.
The first week, the hell week, we didn't. After that's how we ended every practice. It started with just down and backs, and by the end, it was a suicide. By the end of the season, you shot 2. And if you missed the first one, it was a down and back. But like if you missed the first, made the second, it's just a down back. If you missed both, it was a suicide.
I think I only remember getting put on the line like once for that, and I think I went 1 for 2. So like
we had everyone did it every practice.
Oh no, they
went down the line.
The way we did it, a coach would single a guy out. So
No.
that way you put the pressure on him, and he'd get up to the line, and everybody's staring at him, wondering if they're gonna have to run.
Every once in a while,
Brutal.
when I say coach, my dad was always the coach, but then we had he was typically the assistant coach to the head coach. So our head coach was the person who always changed up all of this. But cause I know I've talked about my dad being the coach before, but what he would do a lot of times is pull one guy out. So it was always one of the shooters, quote unquote. So it'd be like me, my friend Cole, Austin. There's 4 or 5 of us, and every once in a while we would get pulled out.
AKA the guys who are allowed to shoot from behind the 3-point line.
Exactly.
That's basically what the shooters are.
We would get pulled out, and they would give us a chance to hit a 3-pointer off a screen, or they'd run an inbounds play, and if we made it, no one had to run.
Yeah.
But if we missed it, then everyone has to do the free throw.
It was always a big honor to be one of the kids that was allowed to shoot threes. I think pretty much on every team I was on, I had the green light. I know one year in particular I really did, to where I was I was one of a couple kids on the team that were, but yeah, that always sucked. If you were certain kids on the team, if you shot a 3, you were getting yelled at.
The funniest was one of those, I forget what his name was, but one of the kids on our team didn't have a green light and got on a fast break and pulled up for 3. And he hit it, which is the worst part.
Still getting yelled at.
Still got benched.
Yeah, I say.
His game, he was on the bench, and he was like, well, I got 3 points of a layup.
The funniest,
you aren't allowed to shoot threes, period.
The funniest would be the kids at practice, trying to convince their coaches to give them the green light. You see me hitting these threes, I should have the green light in games. And
my friend Chip was one of the guys who he was our point guard, so they didn't really care what he did, because he was always just he was a pass first player. And so if he could hit threes, it would have been nice, but his shot was one of those that just laser beam at the front rim. And so if it went in, it was a miracle. From inside the arc, he had a lot more touch, but from 3-point, it was just poof. And so in game, he they were, most of the teams we played didn't do much scouting. Conference they scouted, but pre-conference we would show up, and they would always give space to most of the players.
Yeah.
Or they'd watch us in warm-ups, and so they would always give Chip space. And every once in a while in a game, his shot would be on and hit 2 or 3, and they'd get up on him and start calling him a shooter. And then he'd be like, "You hear that, coach? I'm a shooter. I'm the shooter." And they'd be like, "No, Chip, no. Everyone knows you're not the shooter." It was very funny. It was great. It was a great time.
That's funny.
Man, I miss basketball.
I kind of do too.
It was fun.
It's
It's just fun being a part of a team. You're all working towards a collective goal, and
Teams
you're
are
all
fun.
going through that's why you have such a brotherhood of teams, and you respect a coach so much. There was a stat for a long time that of athletes, the most influential figure in their life, a lot of times was a coach. Like if you asked them.
Yeah, it depends if you have a good coach or not.
Yeah.
Depends on what kind of influence.
That's also true. That could
That's
be
why
good.
I used to want to be.
That is honestly fair though. Like some coaches are very bad influence.
I used to want to be a coach just because I was like, man, you have such a big impact on people's lives as a coach.
It can be tough,
but it's such a time
I've
commitment.
had coaches that are really good and are just hated because sometimes you have just rotten players.
Yeah.
Who are super arrogant. Like I played on some baseball teams with some really good coaching that players just would not buy in because they were just so self-absorbed.
That's what
absorbed.
the coach my freshman year who had the Hell Week and everything, he was like, everyone bought in to what everyone bought into what he was selling. He was the one he like made us have. We had tags that said all in, and if you didn't bring it to the game, you couldn't play. That way he because it was like all about like prep work. We met for lunches every day. We had games, all of that, and like you had to show them you were all in. And one of the things was like you had to be thinking about the game.
Just keep it in your shoe.
Day of. So most players did. But there was 1 or 2 times that a player forgot it and didn't matter who you were status-wise. You were benched the entire game. You were not playing.
Let's start bringing that to work. All in. If you don't bring it to work, you got to go home. Can't work that day.
Well, I mean, that's like, oh, shoot. Forgot it again. 5th time this week.
That's the joke. But
now, we should just make it if you don't bring it, you got to stay
I
3
really,
hours.
honestly, though, I really wish I could, I really wish I had time to play in like a men's league of some sort. Just to like play a team sport. And it's not even close to the same because you're not practicing all the time. But because like weekly disc golf leagues are fun, but like being on a team, like that's why like intramural sports for me in college was like the last taste of that I really got. And so much fun. Like I loved that. Yeah. I don't know.
Nothing like sports, man.
I just got to live vicariously through my kids now.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yep. Just be that guy.
I'm not actually going to do
our
that.
Sound
For the record.
For our sound effect, let's just do Trevor finishing a marathon. All right, I'll go first. Sorry, you might not be able to hear him. He's still at 21 miles because he thought he could run 26.
That's funny.
Okay, I'll do mine next. Wait, no, Hunter, you go. I'm still thinking.
Dang it.
I just wanted to be able to tell that joke, so.
No, we all have to do it now.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
That can be taken. Never mind. Nope.
I feel like
That was probably the most criminal thing ever uttered into a microphone on this show.
Well, like I feel like you're dead. You're out of breath. Did you finish?
I actually feel like I've heard that.
Really? You can't say that. We muted Konner. Connor's now muted.
Mine's going to be... I don't know. I can't...
Honestly, this is the noise you'd actually make.
Okay.
That'd be it. I think you'd finish and you'd be like, all right,
No.
where's the bagels?
Okay, I'd be like, did you guys see Hunter back there? He broke his leg mile 3. I think he's still laying on the side of the road.
Nice.
Realistically, I passed Hunter about a quarter mile back. He was throwing up on the side of the road. That happened at the turkey trot, but he didn't pass me. He was ahead of me.
I really wish I would have gotten to pass you at that moment.
Well, Brody and Kelsey waved to me moments after. They almost saw it. They waved to me. I was just like, because I was just on the side, like, going,
you're just on fire with the
solid
mic
few
right
minutes.
now.
All right, man.
That's the show.